All right, welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into a topic that honestly touches every single one of us, often in the most profound ways: love, people, and relationships. It's such a vast subject, you know? Where do we even begin?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it, Angelina? I think for me, the first thing that comes to mind is just how multifaceted love is. It's not just romantic love, right? It's familial, it's platonic, it's even that love you have for a passion or a pet. It's everywhere.
Absolutely, Jake. And I think part of the challenge, but also the beauty, is how we define it personally. Is it a feeling, a choice, a commitment? I've had times in my life where I felt like love was just this overwhelming emotion, and other times when it felt like a conscious daily decision to show up for someone.
Yeah, I'm with Elizabeth on that. It definitely evolves. When you're younger, especially, it's often portrayed as this dramatic, all-consuming fire. You know, rom-coms and fairy tales selling us this ideal. But then you grow up, and you realize the quiet, consistent acts of love are often the most powerful.
That's such a good point, Thomas. I remember thinking in my teens that if it wasn't intense, it wasn't real. And now I find so much solace and strength in the subtle, everyday gestures, like my best friend knowing exactly what kind of coffee I need without asking, or my mom just listening when I need to vent.
Oh, that coffee example is perfect. It's those moments of being truly seen and understood that really cement a relationship, isn't it? It's beyond words sometimes. It's just that deep connection that says, I get you.
And that, to me, brings up the people aspect of our topic. Because love, at its core, is about connection between people. And people are messy, right? We come with our baggage, our quirks, our pasts. How do you integrate all that into a healthy, loving relationship?
That's the real challenge, Liz. It's about accepting the whole package, flaws and all. And not just accepting them, but sometimes even loving them. My partner has this habit of leaving cupboard doors open, and for the longest time it drove me absolutely nuts. Now, I just close them. It's become a part of our shared life, a minor, endearing quirk.
That's actually really sweet, Thomas. It's those small things that go from being irritants to just part of the fabric. And it's a sign of growth, right? That you've moved past trying to change someone and instead embraced who they are, fully.
But what about when the messy bits are bigger than cupboard doors? What about communication breakdowns or mismatched expectations? Those are the things that really test the strength of a relationship, whether it's romantic or platonic.
That's where the work comes in. I think people often shy away from calling relationships work, but it truly is. It's active listening, it's compromise, it's having those uncomfortable conversations even when you'd rather just sweep things under the rug. Healthy relationships require vulnerability from both sides.
Vulnerability is key. It's tough, though. We're taught, especially as men, to be strong, to not show weakness. But in a truly loving relationship, showing your vulnerable side isn't weakness, it's strength. It builds trust and deeper intimacy.
I couldn't agree more, Thomas. And it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Tone, body language, all of it plays a part. I remember a friend and I almost ended a really long friendship over a misunderstanding that, in hindsight, was entirely down to poor communication at a stressful time for both of us.
That's so relatable. It's almost like we expect people who love us to just know what we're thinking or feeling, which is completely unfair. We have to articulate it, even when it feels difficult or awkward.
And that's where empathy comes in, trying to put yourself in the other person's shoes, understanding their perspective even if you don't fully agree with it. It's not about winning an argument, it's about maintaining the connection.
Exactly, and respecting boundaries too. Sometimes loving someone means giving them space, even if you want them close. It's a delicate balance, learning when to push, when to pull back, and when to just be present.
That's a huge one. Boundaries are so crucial for healthy relationships, but they can be tricky to establish and maintain, especially with people you care deeply about. Sometimes you feel like you're being selfish, but really, you're protecting the relationship by protecting yourself.
Speaking of challenges, how do you guys feel about the impact of modern technology and social media on relationships? Dating apps are practically the norm now, and constant digital connection can be a blessing and a curse.
Oh, it's a double-edged sword for sure. On one hand, dating apps connect you with people you might never meet otherwise, which is amazing. On the other hand, it can feel very superficial and disposable. The next best thing is always just a swipe away.
Yeah, it fosters a kind of consumeristic approach to relationships. You're shopping for a partner, listing features you want, and then social media creates this pressure to present a perfect, curated version of your relationship, which is just unrealistic and damaging.
Right? The relationship goals posts often hide so much of the actual effort and compromise that goes into a real relationship. It creates this false sense of what love should look like, leading to disappointment when your own reality doesn't match the highlight reel.
And it can feed insecurities. You see your ex moving on, or friends having these seemingly perfect lives, and it's hard not to compare. It requires a lot of self-awareness to navigate all that without letting it impact your self-worth or your current relationships.
That's where self-love and a strong sense of identity come in. Because ultimately, the relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for all other relationships. If you don't love and respect yourself, it's hard to truly give or receive love from others in a healthy way.
Preach, Elizabeth. You can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical well-being isn't selfish, it's essential. It makes you a better partner, a better friend, a better family member.
It's true. I definitely went through a period where I was constantly seeking validation from external relationships, and it was exhausting. Only when I started investing in myself, my hobbies, my own happiness, did my relationships actually start to thrive more genuinely.
It's like the universe has a funny way of working that out, isn't it? When you're comfortable in your own skin, you attract people who appreciate you for who you are, not who you pretend to be.
And that leads us to the idea of growth within relationships. People change, and that's natural. A healthy relationship allows for individual growth while still growing together, finding new ways to connect as you both evolve.
That's the ultimate test, I think. Can you both grow, sometimes in slightly different directions, but still maintain that fundamental connection and respect? It takes flexibility and a willingness to adapt.
It does, and sometimes growth means outgrowing a relationship, which is a tough but necessary realization. Not all connections are meant to last forever, and that's okay too. Learning to let go gracefully is part of the journey.
That's a really mature perspective, Angelina. It's hard to accept, because we often want things to be permanent, especially when love is involved. But recognizing when a chapter needs to close can be an act of love for yourself and for the other person.
So, if we were to sum it all up, it sounds like healthy relationships, regardless of type, boil down to a few core things: empathy, honest communication, mutual respect, a willingness to be vulnerable, and a strong sense of self.
And a dash of humor, right? Being able to laugh together, especially at the absurdities of life and yourselves, that's crucial. Laughter is definitely a love language.
Absolutely, Thomas. A good laugh can diffuse so much tension. This has been such a rich conversation, you guys. It really highlights that love isn't just a destination, but a continuous journey of understanding, effort, and joy. Thank you all for sharing your insights.
Yeah, thanks for having this chat. It's always great to dig into topics that really matter to people, and what matters more than how we connect with each other.
It's been a pleasure, and I hope our listeners feel encouraged to nurture the important relationships in their lives and perhaps even start with that relationship they have with themselves.
Well said, Elizabeth. Remember, every single interaction is an opportunity to practice compassion and connection. So go out there and spread some love, folks. Until next time.
Beautifully put, everyone. And that's all for this episode of Podcast Name. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time for another deep dive into what makes us human. Take care.